Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mackie and welcome to this week's fun little reading vlog. It's gonna be very little because I'm trying to read my monthly TBR in 2 days. I don't really know if that's logical or not, but I don't mind if I have to just sit and read in bed for the next 2 days because that's my favorite thing to do. And so let's just directly get into it. Now this year I've actually had the goal wherein I know I have certain books planned for certain videos, but I actually wanted like a little bit of like a TBR situation going in the background, so I don't need to read them specifically for any video. I'll just pick them up and mood read them throughout the month. And I actually have a few books I picked out for my TBR at the beginning of Feb. I'll have them on screen right now. And here's the thing, it's nearly the end of Feb. It's Feb 20th. I haven't read a single one of these books. So for the next 2 days, I actually want to go ahead and try to read all of them that you see on screen right now. I don't know how smart that is, but also at the same time, I have gone ahead and throughout the month started all of these books at some point. I'm like different, progress levels through each of them. And so one at a time, we will start picking them up. And over the span of the next 2 days, I'm essentially going to try to finish reading all of them because let's be real, there's no better feeling in this world than having completed your TBR and then, gloating about it, because that's literally just what I want to do right now. So I'll jump into our first book. I have it downloaded on Kindle. I'm 70% of the way through it. It's called Heartless Hunter. The reason I actually took my time with this at the moment at least is because it's the first book in a fantasy duology and the second one just came out 2 days ago. So that's perfect timing in case I want to jump into it next, because I know the plot twist really gets people. But now I'm ready to go ahead and finish it out. I'm at 70% progress way made through Kindle, so I'm gonna go pick it up and I'll see you guys maybe in a little bit with more thoughts on it. But so far so good. I'm already loving this video even though we haven't started it, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. Okay guys, so since my last update to you, it's been so much later. It's now almost 8 in the evening, which is fine, but here's the thing, I need to go start editing for like a different video right now because I did not plan this out correct. And another thing I didn't really look into, in my first clip I actually went back to check to ensure. I said 2 days, that's not happening. I'm not finishing my monthly TBR in 2 days. I actually meant 3, so human error, let's move on from that. But since the last time I spoke to you, I actually went ahead and finished reading Heartless Hunter on my Kindle over here. Essentially it follows this girl Rune, she's a witch, and the guy in the book is Gideon. He's a witch hunter, so we all know where this romantasy is going. She kind of uses blood to cast her spell marks or whatever, and the New Republic, or the place kind of where they live, witches are kind of forbidden, so if they're found, they're purged out. And she actually has this like mission kind of thing going where she needs to find one specific witch because that kind of aids her in what she needs to find out next. And so when she goes to look for that specific witch, Feeney, she finds out that the witch has already been taken in by Gideon and she's going to be sent off to be purged now. So she needs Feeney like desperately, urgently to kind of fulfill this one goal of hers. And so now here's the thing, she doesn't know how to get to her, she doesn't know how to rescue her, she needs to find out where she's being kept, when's the purging, stuff like that. So she figures she's gonna start fake quoting, I guess, Gideon, the witch hunter who took her in, because she needs more details and information to kind of rescue Feeney. And now Gideon starts fake quoting, I guess, Rune back, because he actually suspects that Rune is the Crimson Moth, who is essentially someone who kind of rescues all these witches and saves them from purging, which he is, but he suspects it, he's not sure. So they're fake quoting each other, both of them, for whatever reason of theirs, except neither of them know it's fake for the other. So it goes from there. He's trying to figure out if she's a witch, she's trying to remove information from him. They kind of hate each other because definitely they're enemies, but here's the thing, they start falling for each other. The only things I didn't like about this book is the place where she gets her blood from, because that's borderline gross and disgusting. Don't know if that's just me. If everyone else is okay with it, maybe I'm the problem, but it feels weird to me. And also there was a bit of like a love triangle situation in the book, but by the ending right now, I think it's like cured or whatever. Not to say that I wanted it to be fixed that way, but like it's fine otherwise. And I finished the book, and can I just say, I'm so mad at myself for having read it in this video now because I can't pick up the next book. For all those of you who read this book at the time it came out and now had to wait a whole year for the next book to come out, which it came out 3 days ago, you guys genuinely have some sort of magical superhero ability to be waiting or whatever, because as soon as I finished this, you won't believe the urge I had to download the next one to my Kindle and keep reading and abandon the video completely. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna stick with it and suffer in pain for the next 3 days until I can pick this book up on my own time or whatever. But here's the thing, plot twist at the end got me. It's left off on a cliffhanger to the point where I didn't see any of that coming. I feel so stupid right now. And can I just say, now I want to read the next one so bad because it was so crazy. Never in a million years would I have guessed something like that. And it was so good. I'm giving this book 4 stars. I will say the romantasy in it, especially between the two of them, the romance, oh my god, it was so good. All those of you who haven't read this book yet, this is one of the most fast-paced fantasies I've read. In one sitting, I managed to finish all 30% that I had left. It was amazing, and honestly, you need to pick it up. Now, after this, the next book I will have picked up from our TBR is called Dear Ava. I'd already started this on Kindle because I'd actually seen it in like some recommendation video somewhere, and so that was part of, the TBR for this month. Except here's the thing, I made it to 60% now that I'm kind of giving up on it. Not to say that I don't like it, but there's stuff about it that just isn't for me. I'm not DNFing it. I don't have that capability in me. Those of you who can do it, y'all are genuinely so strong because I just cannot. Still gonna continue reading it, but I think I'm gonna switch over, and instead of reading on Kindle, I'm gonna read on or listen to it on audio, I guess. So I'll see you guys in a little bit because I have to go, continue editing that video of mine. And I think meanwhile, after the video is done, when I need to make my thumbnail, I'll listen to the rest of the book out because I listen on 3x speed anyway, and it should be done by the time I'm done with my thumbnail. So I'll see you guys in a bit when I have Dear Ava complete. Here's the thing, I'm not really enjoying this book very much, so I'm hoping I don't abandon the video completely and jump to the next Heartless Hunter book because that's all I want to do right now. But hopefully that won't happen. I'll see you guys in a bit with more Dear Ava updates, I think. And yeah, we are off to a great start, but from the start where it's going right now, it's not so great. So I'll see you in a bit with more updates, and bye. I'm gonna go continue editing now, and then after that I'll pick the book up for the thumbnail, and you heard what I said, so you'll see me in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, it's day 2 of our challenge. I'm now in my mom's room, which is why the lighting is perfect, the background is perfect. Her room is so much better than mine. But here we are, and it's time to speak about our next book. Since the last time I spoke to you, I went ahead, I posted the video that needed to go out, and last night actually needed audiobook for the thumbnail. So I ended up finishing out listening to Dear Ava because after the thumbnail I still had a couple errands to finish, and then by the time that was done, Dear Ava was done as well. And basically, I'm done with the book now. One more checked off the TBR. This book, I don't think I gave you a premise. It follows this girl, Ava. Something happens to her the night of this, I guess, kegger party, a college thing at the end of, a football game. Life is not the same anymore. A few months later, she comes back after kind of, taking her time out to herself. And now when she's back, she's trying to find the person who did it to her at the college or whatever. It's the most prestigious place. All the elite rich brats come there. And so she's trying to figure out who did what. Except the first day when she's back, someone leaves, a letter in her locker, which is where the whole Dear Ava aspect comes in. So on the letter, apparently someone's a secret admirer, and it's out of the whole group of sharks. So sharks in this college are the most elite rich brats. They kind of run the school, the football jocks or whatever, and one of them is in love with her, except she doesn't know out of the whole shark group who was the one who did the assault or whatever on her a few months ago. So she's trying to figure that out in the background. She's trying to figure out who the secret admirer is. There's a couple other things happening too. And here's the thing, I understand the premise of this book, but I feel like there were a couple plot lines that weren't really carried out, the way they should have been. The representation wasn't very realistic, and I'm not complaining, but it wasn't for me. Even the writing, there was something about it that felt so disjointed. It felt like a collection of different scenes combined together to make one book. And at some points I was just like, how did we get here from there, and where are we going now? And half the times, I don't know if it was me, but it didn't make sense to me. And people on Goodreads really love it. So now I'm wondering if we all just read the same book, or am I being delusional right now? Because this wasn't for me. I didn't really enjoy it. I feel like the first, however much I read on Kindle, I was just pushing my way through, and then now finishing it off on audio. Can I just say, it wasn't for me, unfortunately. I'm happy I read it still. I'm happy I took the recommendation online. But it wasn't the kind of book I would normally pick out anyway, for a reason, because it just didn't click with me. There is a different book from the author's backlist that I actually have on my TBR, so maybe I'll get to that someday. I'm not really sure, but for now I gave this book 3 stars. I feel like there's a lot that just didn't fall into place, and a couple loopholes here and there that I'm suddenly just thinking back on, and I wish the book had more closure at the end over certain aspects that I feel like could have been dealt with a little better. But that's it for Dear Ava. Right now I'm still on my little audiobook roll or whatever. As you can tell, it's like afternoon outside. I have the curtain down because it was getting backlit, and so I'm gonna have it back up as soon as I'm done with the clip. So we still have quite the day to go, and what I'm thinking right now is I want to continue listening to some audiobooks. So I have a couple actually that I have started but never gone ahead with, finished throughout this month. The thing with me is I kind of listen to audiobooks during doing errands and making thumbnails and whatever to romanticize the task, so I'm not like numbed out, bored, whatever. And so because of that, I have a couple that I wasn't really enjoying but I have running anyway, and might as well finish them off. So I'm gonna go do those. I think what I want to do right now is actually take out my laptop and start editing some photos for my reading journal, because I found a few 5 stars this month and I want to go ahead and make collages for them and have them in my journal. So I'm going to edit some for my journal right now, and as I'm doing that, I'll listen to the next couple of audiobooks that I have, and maybe by the next time I speak to you, we will have 2 more books done, if I'm calculating this correct, because there's not a lot left on either of them. So I'll go do that and I'll see you guys in a bit. But so far we're making quite the decent headway through the TBR, and I have a very good feeling we can finish this by tomorrow. But again, I don't want to get ahead of myself, because if I say something and if I jinx myself, that's going to be really funny to look back on later. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. Okay guys, so it's a lot later now. It's like 7:22. Hair has been pulled back out of my face because I'm in for business right now. Let's lock in and pray to God I get this TBR done, because last time I was very optimistic, shall we say, and this time around, I've been dulled by reality. Don't know if that's really happening, but for book updates, since the last time I came and spoke to you, I did end up finishing those 2 audiobooks I said I was listening to. So I made my journal like edits or whatever, and I'm gonna get them printed at some point. I'm not going right now because it's late outside and it's dark, and let's be real, my social anxiety could never. Maybe we'll try tomorrow in the morning, but then for now it's at least done with the editing or whatever, so that's out of the way. But for books, I actually ended up finishing listening to Deep End. This was the new Ali Hazelwood book. I'll be so real with you, I've never read anything by her, but every single person on my Goodreads For You page was reading it, and let's just say I got a huge case of FOMO, so I downloaded the book, started listening to it. I actually finished, like I said, today, because I didn't have a lot left. I've been listening to it throughout the month since it came out, on different errands or whatever, to romanticize my work. But I'll be so real with you, something about this book wasn't for me. I will say, whenever I wasn't listening to this book, I was always, I guess, enthralled by the idea of going back to it and getting my chance to, continue listening and seeing where the story pans out. But when I was actually listening to it and, having it read out to me, I'll be so real with you, I was completely checked out. I just wanted to be done with it. Essentially, this book follows Scarlett, who is part of like this diving team, and it's a romance between her and the captain of the swim team. But the thing is, the captain of the swim team, who she's gonna have her romance with, Lucas, he is her best friend's ex-boyfriend. And the thing is, her best friend and Lucas haven't actually told the world that they've broken up, because they're this like media power couple or whatever, and they don't want like rumors circulating, going wild or whatever. So no one really knows they're broken up. Scarlett and Lucas are seeing each other in secret. It's not cheating or anything, because they are broken up, but the world doesn't know. So the world, will probably assume. But these two aren't really cheating in that sense. Can I just say though, something about that best friend, her character could have absolutely been cut out completely, and I wouldn't mind. I feel like the star rating for me for this book is 3. And it would have been higher if the best friend wasn't in it. If it would have just been a good old simple romance between the two of them without the best friend involved, would have been fine, because the best friend had 0 boundaries. She kept butting her head in. At some points it was fine, but then after the 50% mark, I just found her so annoying, and I just was so done with the book, honestly. It looked promising from the beginning, but then as it went on, I'm so sorry, this wasn't for me, unfortunately, and I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe it's just me getting back-to-back 3 stars, because I saw online, apparently Goodreads seems to love this book, and here's the thing. It wasn't for me. I don't know what exactly, because their relationship starts out very physical and it gets into something more emotional, but then, so much about it just wasn't it for me. And yeah, I was done with it. He also called her troll. Can I just say that? I know it's supposed to be sweet and you were given an explanation for why, but he called her troll. Me, as an English speaker, That did not sit right with me because every time he called her troll, I'm actually thinking of the English meaning of the word troll rather than the Swedish meaning, because for context, if I didn't tell you, Lucas, the main guy in this book, he's, from Sweden, and this is where the book goes. But I've heard many other good things about her backlist, so I will be getting to it at some point. I do also have like a few books from her on my physical bookshelf, so maybe I'll read them someday. And for all those of you who are aware of the book Love Hypothesis, which is written by the same author, I actually have it on my shelf. I went and checked the character names because I was pretty sure I've heard them before. The characters from that book actually make a cameo appearance in this one, so if that's your favorite book, you can probably go read this book for more content of them, but this just wasn't it for me. And then moving on to the next audiobook we also managed to finish. This was Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I think like 2 years ago at this point, I read her new release. I think it was called Good Bad Girl. Her writing style, forget the fact that she writes mystery thrillers, her writing style is so beautiful in a sense that I've never read anything like it, especially for a mystery thriller. It's eloquent, but at the same time there's something about it that just gives you this like quaint feel. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Just keep in mind it feels very poetic and lyrical for a thriller, and so I picked this up because again I was getting FOMO. It's like a new release. I got around to finishing it out today, and here's the thing, it's a slow burn mystery, so it took its time building up. But I continued listening from the reveal part, so I hadn't really heard the reveal. I actually stopped it the day it was going to come because I wasn't in the mood then. And now listening, to it, finishing it out, it hit me so much harder. And I think maybe it was a good thing I did that because I, enjoyed it a lot. I'm just going to say the build up to this book took a little longer than it should have, and I was bored for most of it. But the ending did make up for it, and I'm going to give this book 3.5 stars. It follows Grady. He's this like really popular best-selling author, and out of nowhere, one day his wife kind of vanishes in the middle of the street. So he's trying to figure out what happened to his wife. Meanwhile, his agent kind of sends him off to this island called Beautiful Ugly so he can start working on his next manuscript. And things start to go wrong. There's something fishy about the island. It's in this like quaint Scotland town or something like that, and all the people over there, there's something wrong with them because they're not letting him leave. So he's trying to figure out what goes next. And it was really good. 3.5 stars. The ending really got me because I didn't see that coming, and now maybe I might just go ahead and get myself a physical copy or get it on Kindle just so I can read certain perspectives and chapters again, because something about it. That's my silent review right now. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm just gonna say it was crazy. Would not have guessed that in a million years, and I had a good time. Now, since the last time I spoke to you for our Kindle TBR, there's only 2 books left now that we need to get to in whatever's left of today and then finish it off tomorrow. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do that because I actually am currently reading Wait For It by Mariana Zapata. Here's the thing, I read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, I think, by her. I actually posted the video of me reading it yesterday. That was the one I was working on. And the thing is, in that book, the girl in Wall of Winnipeg or whatever, her best friend is the main character in this book, Diana. And that's very cool. I really love Diana from that book, so I wanted to read this anyway. And while I didn't enjoy that book necessarily, people said that if you don't like it, you should still try this, because this, apparently the male main character is nothing like her other books. He's like completely different, a whole brand of his own. And can I just say, yes, it feels like a step up from the previous book. It feels so much better and improved, and I'm having a great time, but it's a little too slow for my liking again. And now I think hit like 50% or something on Kindle. I was at 30%, so haven't whiled my afternoon away. I did read quite some, but just now when I was going to go update my Goodreads, I found out through Goodreads this book is nearly 700 pages long. Stop, y'all, this is a slow burn book that's 700 pages long. I don't know really if we're getting this done today and if we're getting the next book complete as well, but at least that'll be a good decent attempt at getting through my TBR. Now I think I'm just gonna go continue reading Wait For It. Not having a bad time necessarily. I'm actually surprisingly enjoying it more than I liked Wall of Winnipeg and Me, and so that's a good improvement from last time. But I'm gonna go now because I'm really thirsty. I wanna get hydrated, so I'm gonna go do that, and we'll speak about this book maybe when I come in next, because this clip has been really long anyway, and I want a little bit of like a break. I'm gonna go keep reading. I read 20% in like one sitting right now, and it had me hooked, so that's good enough I think, and I'm just gonna go continue at it. I don't really know if we'll be getting to summer romance now in this video, but then hopefully we will. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed and hopes out because both are on Kindle and I want to get them done at some point. But we're making decent headway through the monthly TBR. I'm happy about the progress we're getting because I wouldn't have read these books otherwise if it hadn't have been for this video and actually finished it and sat down and thought about it. it. So this is great. I'm gonna go continue, maybe, get a decent way through this again before I come speak to you about it. But I'm loving the main guy in this, so that's great, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. Does it absolutely look like it's 5 minutes later or 5 minutes after the last clip I came and spoke to you? Yes, indeed it does. Keep in mind, it is not. In fact, it's like a few hours later now, in case you believe it or not. It's nearly 1 in the morning, but because it's a Saturday, despite the fact that I need to be up early tomorrow and I have other things going, I will be sitting down now, continuing our book. Here's the thing, since the last time I spoke to you, I have spent about 90% of the time reading this book. I made it to 62%. I don't know where I was last time when I came, but can I just say, it's so long that the progress counter on the Kindle is barely moving as I'm like flipping through the pages, and it doesn't even feel like I'm making any progress through it because the book is genuinely like a 600-700 page romance, and it feels like it's never gonna end. Not that I want it to end, it's, picked up, I'm having a good time now. But for premise, because I never spoke about that, I feel like this whole video I keep forgetting to like speak about premise, and I keep reminding myself that, oh my god, they don't know what it's about maybe, so I need to talk about it, and here we are. I'm reading Wait For It right now. It's by Mariana Zapata. If you haven't heard of her, she's supposed to be the little queen of slow burn. Book Talk loves her. Everywhere you go on the internet, she's like viral and popular for her grumpy main male characters and how, the slow burn is very swoony. But here's the thing, I read her most popular book, wasn't for me, so I picked this one up because they say it's unlike that one. And that one, the main character there, she's Vanessa. Her best friend is Diana, who is the main female character here. And the thing with Vanessa is something traumatic, something really sad happens to her, and because of that she currently inherits 1 dog and 2 boys. So now these guys, she needs to look after them because they are now basically her sons. One of them is Josh, I think he's like 10 or 11 years old, and the other one is Louis, he's 5 years old. And here's the thing, alongside that, she needs to kind of, look after her job, earn the money to look after them. It's very character driven because there's no specific plot line. It's just you following kind of like a slice of life in Diana's life, in her perspective, her, getting daily tasks done. Josh is on like a baseball team, so, getting him to practice, getting the kids to school, stuff like that, except when she moves in with her kids now to this new house. Across the street, there's her neighbor Dallas, and the romance is supposed to be with him. Can I just say, the first easily 100 pages, I wasn't even sure who the romance would be with because it's that slow. I genuinely thought it was someone else before I, looked at Goodreads reviews, and I was like, oh, it's supposed to be this guy Dallas. And here's the thing, we don't know shit about him. He is so grumpy. We're hardly like uncovering stuff right now, and it's taken so long to build up to this. Not that I don't enjoy it. Here, I will say I actually see them as a romantic couple, unlike the other book I've read by this author, wherein I genuinely didn't see anything at all. I can see how slowly she's like kind of starting a friendship between the two of them before it, leads to anything, and I'm loving the way he's treating her kids now. I also love the way he knows she's a single mom, and he used to have a single mom growing up, and so he knows she's not gonna ask him for any help, but he's still going out of his way to offer that help and still, aid her in whatever sense he can. And he comes across as grumpy, but when you start to like, spend more time with him, understand who he is better as a person fundamentally, he's also coaching the baseball team. You're having so much more fun, and this makes it so much better because now the wait in this book, you're literally waiting for it, and it's extended to the point where when you're finally getting stuff between them, even if it's just them like smiling at each other, him like holding her glance or whatever and staring at her from across the field, I'm swooning so hard. I'm giggling. I'm trying not to let my Kindle fall on my face and giggling so freaking hard. This is doing it for me. I will say it's a little too slow for my liking, and if you don't like the character, which I do because she's funny or whatever, it's fine. I'm having a great time in her perspective. But if you don't like her, you probably won't enjoy the book because it's again very character driven. But I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm having a better time than I did on the other one, which is why the internet can very well be trusted when they tell you stuff like, oh, you should just try this book out because yeah, it's worth it. And I have been scrolling about them online. I shouldn't be doing that because I don't want to ruin the book for myself, but I saw this one scene on this one like thing that popped up on my For You page, and now I'm so excited to get to that because I don't see us getting there anytime soon because of how slow and dragged out the romance is. But I feel like the reason it's dragged out is because there's nothing physical between them right now, and it's building on more of like an emotional connection, which I'm enjoying better. And it's gonna make it so much better when that scene I saw on my For You page comes, because I'm waiting for it and I'm genuinely dying for it to come. Can Can I also quickly just say, if you've heard the song You're in Love by Taylor Swift, that's probably my current favorite by her. This book is essentially that song if that song was adapted to become a book, because they're becoming friends first. Nothing's like happening between them. They're solidifying that friendship first, and then the romance is going to hit you so much harder and you're going to connect with it so much nicer. And I see the hype. Okay, I am slowly converting and becoming a Mariana Zapata girly. If you've got book recommendations from her, leave them in the comments, because I'd love to get through her backlist now. And I'm so happy I picked this up. Loving it, loving every second. I love Diana, I love Dallas, I love the boys, I love the side characters. Everyone's got some sort of essence, and I'd love for them eventually to get their own stories, because from what I can tell, the Mariana Zapata verse is essentially like really connected. There's characters from different books coming in, there's other things going on, and I'm having a good time. So I'm gonna go keep reading. I don't think I'm finishing this book tonight, but I will attempt to try to finish it by tomorrow, which is the last day of our challenge, because then, you know, I need to get through my TBR. But the only thing is, it's so long, I still have 40% of it, that I'm kind of scared that I won't be able to read our last book on the challenge. So, you know, I'm gonna try my hardest right now. I'm gonna pick back up and keep reading for a few hours now, because this is the best time when I have to just curl up in bed with my Kindle, happily reading away. And I'll see you guys in a bit, maybe, I don't really know. But that's it for the current update. I'm having a good time so far with the book, and the slow burn is really burning, but I can't wait for the point where it finally starts to pay off, because that's the best part. But I'll see you guys in a little bit with more updates, hopefully, with hopefully the book done at this point, because I've been speaking about it only in 2 clips, but I feel like I've been reading it for much longer, and I don't hate it, but I want to be done with it, because I do want to read the last book in the video as much as we can. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, so it's the next day. It's now day 3 of our challenge, but now it's quite late. It's like past 8, and the reason I haven't come and spoken to you all morning is because I had something going in the morning. Now keep in mind, it was a Saturday. I have woken up really freaking early, got my thing done, go back home. Right after that I had lunch. I was awake for like an hour or so trying to read my book, but my eyes kept drooping shut, so I was just like, listen, I'm giving up, I'm going to bed. Took a short nap, which wasn't, you know, so short as I would like it to have been. Woke up I think like a few minutes ago, and I figured I'm just gonna lock in now. I want to keep reading for the rest of the night, and because it's 8 right now, I still have 4 hours for the day to officially get over at like midnight. So what I'm thinking right now is I want to go ahead and just sit down, lock in completely, and read my book for the next 4 hours, so that I'm done reading it by the time the day is over, and technically I'm done in our 3-day challenge. But then I don't know if there'll be anything else I'll be getting to, so wait for it updates. Last night I actually managed to read up to 72%, and I went to bed around 3 in the morning, which made it worse for me because I had to wake up around 6:30, so that's the reason I slept right now. But I read till 72%. I think that was pretty good progress since I spoke to you, because I was at 60 or something last when I came and spoke to you. And so a lot has happened. I will get to that in a second, but then when I picked it up again this afternoon, I read a few pages and my eyes were drooping shut. I checked again, it's still 72. The counter barely moves because of how slow this book is going, at least for me, because it's longer in length or whatever. So I'm still at 72%, but basically, you know, updates right now. Dallas is so kind, sweet and supportive in his own ways. You won't see him showing that through his words, but he's more of like a doing stuff for you guy, helping you out, just, you know, supporting here and there, kind of doing it through his actions, which is why I'm loving the little like acts of service trope in this book, because, you know, he doesn't have to be doing it for her or helping her, but he's still doing it and, you know, still trying to look after her or whatever. I also love the way he is with her boys. Like, he doesn't have to be that sweet, but he's doing it anyway. And by the way, Louis, her younger kid, is the star of the show. I giggle every time he comes on screen, and by screen I mean my Kindle screen. I genuinely wish Dallas and Louis got more screen time or page time, because I will say this book, if you don't like our main character Diana, which I do because she's funny, but it gets a little monotonous in her perspective because she's going about her daily tasks, and at some point, you know, you're just wondering what's the point of it all. If, you know, the chapter, it's taking so long to build up, and then finally at the end, I feel like every chapter ends so abruptly. Like, you wouldn't expect it to end at the point where it ends, because they're in like the middle of like this interaction, and then out of nowhere it's just over and it skips to the next day. It doesn't continue the interaction from the moment it left off on the previous chapter. So that's a little annoying, I will say. I wish there was a little less of her life, because I get that you need it, but also I personally think that I don't need to know exact details about every single thing she's doing, because I don't really care. We had like an Aiden and Vanessa huge cameo come in a few chapters ago, before. If you've read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me and you've loved it and you wanted more of their content, it was kind of sweet and I liked it more than I liked the book. But I'm still here, I'm still reading. I think this will be my last update to you before I go and kind of check in and try to finish it all of today and tonight or whatever. So that's it. I'll just go now. I think I'm probably going to continue reading. Not a lot of thoughts. I just wish it was condensed down a little bit because it's too slow for my taste. That's the same thing I thought with the other book I read by this author. But then this one, I feel like there's still romantic potential for the couple. And I am rooting for them. So that's good anyway. And I will probably read more of this author's book. So if you've got recommendations, always go ahead and comment them for me. And that's it. I'll come to see you guys maybe tomorrow, I think, at this point, because I don't think I'll be bothered to come and speak at midnight once I'm done reading. But I'm gonna go now and I'll see you guys hopefully in a little bit. Hopefully there's more interactions with them because I genuinely need more of Diana and Dallas together, since it's like a romance book between the two of them rather than a women's fiction following her life. In which case I wouldn't have been mad if it was following her life, but now I need more of like a romantic subplot, and things have gotten better, whatever. Things have increased between them, but at the same time I kind of need more because like now I am getting bored and this needs to really hold my attention now. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go now. I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, so it's the next day. We have officially gone ahead, finished finally reading our little TBR, or not so little technically, in the span of 3 days. I did not finish our TBR. I feel like this video in the first place was very over ambitious in the sense that, do you really think I could finish all of those books as a slow reader in 3 days when it was supposed to be, due to be finished in a month? We all know I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway, but I feel like I made like a great dent in it and I still got a few books read, so I'm gonna count that as my own personal win. And now finally for the Wait For It review, I actually went ahead and I sat early into the morning hours. So here's the thing, I didn't finish it by midnight even though I tried. I think I had like the last 10% or something like that left, and so I stayed up, ended up reading it out. For all those of you who are gonna yell at me, I'm not really one of those people who considers that after midnight is the new day. Whenever I wake up in the morning is the new day to me, so it doesn't bother me anyway. But I have gone ahead since I finished Wait For It. For anything I say, keep in mind I want to read more of Mariana Zapata's books now because it was good, but I wish there was more scenes between Dallas and Diana. Don't get me wrong, Dallas is so sweet, kind, endearing. I just love him, and I love Diana as well. She's such like a strong female main character, and I love the representation. I love how she treats her boys. I love how she's got everything under control. I love how she doesn't really go out of her way to ask for help, but he's still giving it anyway because he knows she's a single mom and he's just offering despite the fact that he knows she wouldn't ask for it. And then apart from that, the boys. I'm obsessed with Louis, honestly. It was so cute. This is the first book wherein I'm not complaining about children in the book because I actually found it cute. And that's good, but keep in mind, this was a romance book and I wish there was more between the two of them, because when the scenes started coming up, I was getting so giggly, flustered, just giddy about it, that I wish I had more of that feeling throughout the rest of this book, because I feel like the first half you don't have much romance, it's just setting up, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a slow burn for a good reason, but I feel like it could have been cut a little short of the setup and we could have instead got more scenes between them, because listen, I was having a good time in those scenes, and then they'd abruptly end at certain points where I wish there was more so we could see what happens next. And I feel like even the book, it ended so randomly because I was reading and I didn't have like my eye on the counter, and suddenly I look down and it says epilogue and I'm like, okay, continue reading, it's over. It's literally over. So it went by fast, at least the second half of it, and I had a good time reading it. But I wish it wasn't as abrupt at the ending and at the chapters, because I would have wanted more Dallas Diana content because I liked it that much. But also keep in mind, I was reading this as a romance book rather than women's fiction, which is why I wasn't really interested in the first place in her daily tasks. But it did give good background to her and the side characters, and now there's a couple people in the book that I wish had their own books at some point. They don't have any. I checked her little author profile or whatever, but hopefully maybe one day she'll write more books about them, because I love to be in this universe again and I had a good time reading regardless. So I'm giving this book 4 stars. Again, keep in mind, if this is your favorite book ever, I had so much of a better time than Wall of Winnipeg and Me reading this book, so that's good. But now I can't wait to read more of this author's work. It's just I wish there was a little more romance in her books, but that's it. I feel like the other aspects, when it started hitting in, there were so many certain scenes which I want to talk about so bad, because because of the build-up, they hit so much stronger and harder and I was enjoying them, but I can't because this is not a spoiler vlog. But regardless, we finished the last book for today's video. I really wanted to read Summer Romance here as well because it's also part of the TPR. It's also the only book we weren't able to get to in this video. So cheers to me pushing it off another month. I feel like I already wanted to read it in Jan in like a different video, but I never got to it, and now I'm pushing it off again. So I know it's a good book. I really want to pick it up. I know it was giving me 5-star feelings for the first 4 pages I read like a couple months ago. It's just I'm not getting the chance. So go yell at me in the comments if you want to, and hopefully that'll give me enough motivation, inspiration, whatever you want to pick the book up at some point, which I know I will. I just need, you know, the push. So you guys do that in the comments. But that's it. If you guys had a fun time coming along with me, like, comment, share, subscribe. If you want another video like this, because I could do it potentially every month, it's just I don't want you to get bored watching me with the same video format, let me know, because I would love to do this again. It was kind of fun, even though I was literally cramming the books in, and you know, I'm a little tired now, so I'm taking my reading break for the day. But that's it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. YouTube things, you know how to do them, and I'll see you hopefully very soon, because again, I'm trying to post and, you know, be ahead of my schedule, so we will see how that goes. But that's it. I hope you have a great rest of your day until the next time I see you, and thanks for watching. Bye.